I'll get to that later. Hello there, and welcome to this week's edition of Creative Critique. Now, that opening is clearly for a reason. Those who know the tune will know that reason, and also if it's in it, because it's in the title of the video itself. So come on, yeah. That is in relation to my classic film later. Another epic fight. But I will start off this week's edition of Creative Critique with an epic fight of superhero tendencies. Of course, I think we all know what it's going to be. It is, of course, Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. Right. Now, there's been a lot of opinions flying about, yay, Superman, regarding this film. So I'm actually going to start off by saying, you know what? I thought it was a pretty damn fun watch. It's extremely flawed, and I mean, it is extremely flawed, but fun. I suppose you've got to kind of go in not expecting anything, because that is exactly how I went into the film. I was always skeptical of this mashup, how quickly they're doing it, obviously in the DC universe, having such two big iconic characters mixed in with other characters, of course, as well, be it like Luthor, Wonder Woman, and various other characters, obviously. So, and the trailers again didn't, although certain parts of it got me quite, oh, that could be very good. Equally, I was like going, oh, that could be very, very questionable and bad. So, I kind of went in with no expectations, expecting it to be quite rubbish, and especially given the reception it's gotten from critics as well. 29% on Rotten Tomatoes tells you probably all you need to know regarding that. So the critics are pretty much unanimous in thinking this is not a very good film. So I've gone in thinking, yeah, I myself think it's not going to be very good. Critics have said it's not going to be very good. So, like I say, I've gone in with no expectations, and you know what? I've actually found it a pretty fun watch with no expectations. Maybe that's the whole point. So, now, whether I was entertained by unintentionally funny dialogue or actual intentional aspects of the film is certainly up for debate. But if someone was to ask, was I entertained? I go, yeah, I was entertained. I wasn't bored throughout the 2.5 hour film. There was lots of stuff going on. Sometimes there was certainly too much going on. But yeah, I'll start with my positives. So a lot of stuff was mentioned regarding Ben Affleck in the film playing Batman. Now, I was always an advocate of saying, oh yeah, I can certainly see him playing Bruce Wayne. It was the Batman angle that I was more concerned about. I wasn't one of these people who went, oh, Ben Affleck, no, he's going to be rubbish, just because it's Ben Affleck in that role. So I went in, okay, I could certainly see him doing half the role, but I was actually very impressed with his Batman side of the role as well. And you know what? The dark and brooding Affleck is now my favourite type of Affleck. He's very entertaining in the film. Both as Batman and as Bruce Wayne. Now, I was going to some of the more side characters, and in terms of Jeremy Irons' Alfred character and Lawrence Fishburne's Perry White character, obviously both from Batman's side and Superman's side. They are very fleeting in their screen time and roles, but they had some very, very funny and memorable dialogue. Of course, there's so much going on, they hardly get any screen time, like I say, but what you do see of them, you actually do quite enjoy their screen presence. Particularly Fishburne, who got absolutely nothing to do in Man of Steel. It's glad to see him getting some funnier, not more important, but at least more engaging and to an audience performance. So yes, now I'll go into but no, I'll quickly just go on to the slight premise. So obviously, I've gone a little bit of the characters there. I'll just go into some of the premises and the story of the film. So the film starts out with effectively Bruce Wayne, Batman, experiencing damage to one of his buildings in Metropolis. He owns a building in Metropolis, and this is going on during the fight of Man of Steel between General Zod and Superman. So he's seeing absolute destruction caused by this individual, and what obviously comes of this is that he feels, what if this is an extremely powerful individual? What if this individual was to suddenly turn against the human race? He would be pretty much unstoppable. So he determines that he must somehow stop Superman before he decides he no longer wants to protect humanity. So that is the general reason for Batman's side of the argument. Superman's is a bit more political in a way. There's humanity coming up saying, well, this individual should be responsible for all the deaths that are caused. Yes, okay, he's saved lots of lives, but he's caused countless others in terms of his actions as well. So there's sort of this political thing going on with Superman where he's being brought, people are requesting him to be brought to account, effectively. So it's certainly an interesting angle, and he's a very conflicted individual. Henry Cavill does what he can with the Superman character, because as we all know, Superman is an extremely, to say bland would be probably unfair, but is it? Because he's such a hard character to bring to life, more than what we know, because of what he stands for. He's the all-American hero, isn't he, effectively, Superman. So, yes, he does what he can with the role, Henry Cavill, but he's decent enough in it. Now, I will go on to, while this is all going on, effectively Jesse Eisenberg is playing Lex Luthor. Or is he? I won't go into particular details of his character, because it will spoil certain things. One thing I found extremely annoying, because it should have been a huge surprise, oh my god, but it was more annoying than that, so those who have watched it will probably know what I mean, but yeah, there we go. Now, Jesse Eisenberg in terms of his performance, and I'm probably going to break a bit of the general consensus here, and state that I actually thought it was certainly bold, and yeah, I think it was a worthy attempt at breathing new life into a villain, Lex Luthor, that it's that sort of character has needed something new to offer, without a doubt. So, there's certainly, now I'm not going to lie, this twitches, no, it's an Eisenberg performance, without a doubt. He brings all that sort of quirky and weirdness generally to roles. And there's no doubt that at points he oversteps the mark, and you're like, that's too far. That is certainly too far. I like the tone he was going for, but I felt it was certainly at times just way a bit too much over the top, and you just need to rein it in a bit more. But I generally like the angle he was going for. A lot of people are more horrified of his take of the character, but given what we know, is it that bad? Really now, considering what we know. So, now I'll go on to Gal Gadot, who plays Wonder Woman, and you certainly feel her screen presence. And affects as Wonder Woman. She probably steals it quite a bit, actually, in terms, and that's no mean feat considering the competition she's up against, really. 3 heavyweights like Jesse Eisenberg and Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck in those 3 really title roles and headlining performances. So kudos to Gal Gadot, because she does a fantastic job. I personally thought she was very, very good. She was wonderful as Wonder Woman. Yes, there we go. And my word, her music theme was outstanding. It was truly outstanding. I thought the general score of the film was fabulous anyway, from Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL. Interesting combination of styles, it's fair to say. But I thought it was a very, very effective scoring of the film, and their combination gave it, and particularly Junkie XL's angle, not enough of him was maybe heard during the scoring, but you certainly felt his scoring in her particular theme, the Wonder Woman theme, the Is She With You theme. Just when the guitars come in, it's like, yeah, now we're rocking. Yeah, as Jack Black would say. So yeah, I enjoyed her screen presence. Yeah, there's a lot of fun to be had at her sort of character. The lasso of truth makes an appearance. Yeah, so they're what I would deem the positives. Now, come on, let's go on to the negatives, because there are also plenty of them as well. So, now it was always going to be very difficult to get the complete job done on this type of film, considering what they're building to and what is to come from their cinematic universe. So it's no surprise that the editing of scenes together felt quite a bit awkward at times. It was very much like the director went, right, I want this scene to happen, and then this scene to happen, and then this scene to happen. But they didn't actually know how to link them together seamlessly. So we kind of got... So now we get that scene... Yeah, you would understand what I mean if you've seen the film. It's very much this, then this, then this, then this, without any seamless stream of editing or storytelling. So that is quite a big flaw, because it does make you aware you're watching a film. And I know that sounds silly, because you're watching a film called Batman vs Superman, but it makes you even more aware of something like that. So, Now, let's get to that scene. Now, if you've seen the film, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's that scene where they try to do what Marvel have done over the course of 5 films before they actually made the Avengers. Now, they've done Man of Steel, and now they've done Batman vs Superman, Dawn of Justice, in the lead up to the Justice League films. So they've had 2 films, whereas the Marvel have done 5, so they've slowly built their world. Now, what can I say? And it certainly does feel as I described. It does feel forced. That sort of... There's one that sort of teases it in, and there's one that goes, we're doing the Justice League film. That's how it's done. And as I said previously, it does feel forced. But if they've decided to do this, they have to do it, because otherwise you'll have no idea at all what's going on in Justice League regarding certain characters. I must say, during this little segment, there was one particular thing or one particular person I was like, who are you? I've had no explanation of who you are. What is your significance? I have no idea. Therefore, why do I care right now? Certain ones you know because of little things have been teased, but it's still, again, blink, gone. There you go. So, now, right, let's go to another note of things that really did annoy me. Right, okay, so why was there a need for 2, that's right, 2 fake-out dream segments? Really? This day and age, 1 is cliched enough, but 2 is unforgivable, because I was like, this isn't happening. Nobody here believes that is happening, so therefore it's a waste of my time, it's a waste of your time. What's the point of it? Pointless, pointless, pointless. Now, I've said previously about my positive regarding I was entertained by the dialogue. Now, but my word, is it some nuts and bolts dialogue? It is, let's do this to get to this point, to get to this point, to get to this point. It's kind of like the editing in a way, in terms of the storytelling of scenes. And there are certain lines that for me were just truly laugh out loud and unintentionally funny regarding the film. A certain Kryptonian spaceship computer, and yes, yes, and comments as Superman is taking Doomsday into space. Were moments where I just couldn't hold myself back with laughter, and because it was just so silly, and it was like, this is predictable, and that's why it's so funny. Yeah, so let's go down to it now. How do I sum this film up? Well, I personally feel it certainly isn't the complete disaster many critics would have you believe. I can see why the critics have had such a harsh tone, because they're not going in with a fun angle. They're going, is this film good? Does it make sense? And I can really kind of understand why, in many senses, they've been quite harsh toward it. But I suppose maybe some people like me and maybe others who have sort of entrenched in that sort of sci-fi and not particularly comic books. I'm not particularly in the comic book section myself, but in that sort of, yeah, I don't know how to describe it. That sort of, not geek world, but that sort of area of films and TV and stuff like that. Maybe they can find a lot more to enjoy about the film than people just coming from a purely critical point of view. So yeah, it's hard to defend that angle because I'm having leanings towards that sort of, because I like that sort of thing. But I don't think it is the 29% rotten rating that Rotten Tomatoes give it. I think a middling 50% is exactly what it is. You will find fun in certain. I thought some things were really, really good. Like I've said, previous things, lots of things are quite terrible. So yeah, it's no way is up there with Marvel's best, but it's just as fun in certain aspects as some of their, not worse, but some of their middling efforts. It is big, dumb superhero fun, and like I said, given what I've read beforehand, and the fact that my expectations were never high to begin with seeing this film, maybe it had an effect in how I've actually become more positive and given a more positive than expected opinion. So, like I said, if you're in the right mood, this is probably a film that can be fun for you. However, it doesn't make it a great film by any stretch of the imagination. And it does really kind of depend on how much you're willing to forgive the filmmaker for cramming so much in. It's extremely flawed, but fun. Is my final review, is it really, of the film? And I've got to stop because that was quite an epic review. That's a 15-minute nearly review of that film. I've got to go on to something else now. So, there we go. That was Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, my theatrical release film of the week. So, from 2 heavyweights of Batman and Superman to 2 other heavyweights and the reason why I made that little theme tune at the beginning of the segment, to Rocky Balboa versus the Apollo Creed, and the film is, of course, 1976, Rocky, directed by John G. Avildsen. The film, of course, was written by Sylvester Stallone and starred him as Rocky Balboa, the most famous fictional or real, portrayed on cinema. And it's a performance and a film of a generation, really, because that film defines Sylvester Stallone as an actor. And the reason why I recently saw Creed, and I really enjoyed Creed so much, was because I saw character development of that character, Rocky Balboa, in Hit. It showed growth of that character, and Sylvester Stallone is Rocky Balboa. So it's the story of a middling boxer from Philadelphia who kind of not bums it around in terms of fights, but he's not reaching his potential, therefore losing respect of like his gym owner, and kind of other boxers in his area, really. So what happens is kind of a rags to riches story. Well, in certain ways it is in the ending, how you see it, really. So there's a big debate to be had, really, regarding how good the film is, because it beat a lot of other really, really good films to best film, didn't it? Best film and best director. It beat the likes of Taxi Driver and Network and All the President's Men, which are films which I'm like, whew, those are some heavyweight films. I mean, particularly in terms of Taxi Driver and Network, which are films I absolutely adore and love. I love Rocky, but is it as good as them? I'm not sure it is. It's certainly a film that defines the sports drama generation, and it kind of spurs the genre into life. You love that. You warm to that character, and that's why probably why it's all about, again, it's about the American dream. Going from nothing to being a hero, or, yeah. So, great performance by Stallone. Some really interesting support by Talia Shire as his love interest in the film. Burgess Meredith plays the grizzled old trainer. Some great quotes from him. Carl Weathers is just fabulously over the top as a Muhammad Ali kind of tribute act, if you will, as a man who plays the showbiz arena fabulously well. Whenever he's on screen, he's just fabulous to watch. Carl Weathers. It's just that contrast of characters as well, in a sense. Sort of him, this sort of over the top boxer, Rocky Balboa's humble character. So it's a great combination there. Some interesting support from. I'm never a big fan of Burt Young in this film. I'm not gonna lie. It's an interesting character to be involved in the film. At certain parts I do find him a little bit annoying. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah. 2 hours film, it's fabulously well paced, some interesting storytelling. It isn't what it became in the end, which was really just all about. It's a film that invented some of the cliches in many ways, isn't it? The Rocky montage is now infamous, but it's fantastic, and the music, and you do get a shiver up your spine every time that music plays out. Whether it's the opening one like that, where he's going up the stairs, or at the end of the film, where it's I got a shiver in my spine when he's doing the run through Philadelphia and up the steps, and it is fantastic. It is fantastic theme music and a fantastic cinematic moments of particular cinematic history. These are moments in this film that will live on beyond Stallone and beyond the years, because it is, for all its faults, and it does have faults, Rocky, it is such a warm film, and it's hard not to like. And like those characters, apart from Burt Young, in my opinion. You have such fun in their company, and it's really nicely written by Stallone, which is probably the most interesting aspect of the film, isn't it? Yeah, Bill Conti, fabulous music. I've got to quote him, mention him as the score of the film. And this is a film that cost $1 million to make and made $200 million. Talk about, that is a literally Rex to Riches story, wasn't it? It was one of those sort of things. I really do like Rocky. It's got its faults, but I think it is certainly a film that will live on, like I say, in the sports drama, and it defines Stallone, and he's found it ever so hard to do other things. Where it's due to his own acting ability is up to the debate, isn't it? But I think Rocky Balboa in this film is one of the greatest cinematic characters ever invented. Whether you like Stallone is probably going to determine whether you like the film or not. But I thought it was I think it's an extremely entertaining film, and I think it's worthy of classic status, Rocky, without a doubt. I do love a boxing film, but this is just top notch. It is really, really good. Rocky, my classic film of the week. And there we go. 20 minutes I've just hit, haven't I? So there we go. Classic film of the week was Rocky. 2 heavyweights, Apollo Creed versus Rocky Balboa. Fantastic film. And Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. 2 more heavyweights in my theatrical release film of the week, which I spent an awful lot of time reviewing there, didn't I? Fantastic stuff. I do hope you've stuck in this longer than expected edition of Crazy Critique. I do hope you subscribe to me if you enjoy what you've heard. And I do hope to see and speak to you again very soon. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.